Hi, my name is Jason Lee, and this is my 15112 Turn project. For my Turn project, I created a multiplayer game called Tron Wars, which is based off the movie Tron: The Legacy. In the game, which can have up to 5 players and with a minimum of 2 players, each player controls a rider, one of these riders, and the rider is always constantly moving, and it's always constantly moving in the direction that it's facing, and the each player can adjust or direct the movement of the riders by pressing left and right of their binding keys, and this will rotate the direction each rider is the riders are facing, and it will give the riders smooth left and right turns, and that is how the players can control the right his or her own rider. So this is the start screen, and here we are the instructions. Here is the instructions page, and it pretty much just outlines the basics of the game. And when you play the classic mode, there are 9 power-ups, which are all listed here. The first 6 have either a blue or red background. Blue means that when you get it, it'll affect only you, while if it has a red background and if you hit it, then the effect will apply to everyone other than you. And for the last 3 power-ups here, there's only going to be a blue background because it's going to affect the first one, and the first one and the third one will only affect everyone in the game, so there's no need for a red background. And then for this one, this is an only you power up, so once you get it, it's only going to affect you. So we can click back to go back to the start screen, and because this is a multiplayer game, I have a key binding setup page, because it's hard to fit like a total of 5 players on one computer. Like players need to like angle themselves differently. I gave the option for players to change their keys for their left and right keybinds. So let's say I want to play Greenlee, and I was on the left side of the computer. I want to change my left to Q and my right to A. Then what I can do is I can hold down my left mouse click and then press Q, and it'll change immediately to Q. And then for right, I'll change to A, and there it changed. And you can do this for all of the players. Right now, because only 2 players are being set, which is the default, the 3 other players, they have their keybinds to 0, which basically means that they're not playing. And so if you want to add more players, you just go down the list and add the keybinds, and once the keybinds are set, the player will be automatically added. So if you want to add a 3rd player, which has to be Pickney, then we can do like B and N, and now Pickney is added to the game. For now, we'll just keep it at 0. And yeah, and we can go back, and if you see in my Greenlee, well, my keybinds are Q and A, and now we're back at the start screen, and the keybinds are actually saved, so that when I go back to key bindings, the previous keybinds are displayed. So that's that. And then now we have the option to go to castle mode or classic mode, both of which are multiplayer with a minimum of 2 players. For classic mode, you can clip up to 5 players, and for castle mode, you can only have 4 players. So we're gonna go to classic mode, and we're gonna press play. So what happened was, if you look down here, it says press P to start round, press P to pause again. So in the beginning, there were only 2 heads, and then to start the match, you press the key P, and then that starts the match. And then once you press P again, it pauses the game. So if I press P right now, it's going to continue. So as you can see, one player is moving up this way, and one player is moving down this way, down that way. The angles start off completely random, and the position of the riders also start off completely random. So once like Greenlee dies, and once the green rider dies and blue ball's only one left standing, the match will restart, and the 2 heads will appear. The 2 riders will appear in a different location with different angles for the second match. As you can see, because Greenlee was the first to get executed, Bluebell has a +1 score. Um, the scoring system works so that um, you get the number of points depending on how many opponents you outlive. So if it was a 5-player game, then and you were the last one standing out of a 5-player match, then you would get 4 points after the match ends because you outlived all four other players. Um, and so because I outlived one player as Bluebell, um, I got 1 point for Bluebell. And the points and because it's only 2-player, the number of points needed to win is only 10, but this goes up by 10 for every player you add in. So once it reaches 5 players, you'll have 40. 4 players, you'll have 30. With 3 players, you'll have 20. And then so we can press P again to start the match. As you can see, while the riders move, um, they create like a trail behind them, and similar to how like in the movie Tron, like as they're riding their bikes, they leave like a permanent wall behind them, and one and these walls are permanent, and once other riders collide with these walls, um, they are executed. So basically, the objective of this game is to obviously just outlive all your opponents by avoiding collisions. Collisions can take place by colliding with other people's trails, your own trail that you leave behind. So if green crashes into green, you're still gonna be executed. Or if you collide into the border of the grid, the outside grid, and that's how it's played. So um, on the other hand, for castle mode, what happens is um, each these lines represent the castle walls, and each player starts in the middle of the 4 quadrants. And the goal of the game is the same as the as classic mode, except now you have a different map, and you can either choose and there are different strategies to play the game. So in this case, you can either choose to stay in your own quadrant and survive longer than your opponents, or you can invade other quadrants and go on the offensive. And it's pretty much the same, played the same way as classic mode, except with different strategies. Also, in the difference between another difference in classic and the castle mode is that in classic mode there are power-ups, while for castle mode the power-ups are disabled. Now I'll be showcasing an example, a battle of a 5-player classic mode and then a 5-player castle mode. So enjoy.